Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Jason Everett, and I'm hanging out here with Mr. Tom Wheelright. What is up, Tom? How are you, man?
Hey, it's a great to be alive when you're an introvert. We've been practicing for this for years and years and years. So we're all good. The accounts of the world, we're good.
That's good. And by the way, if you guys don't know who Tom Wheelright is, Tom Wheelright has written an amazing book called Tax-Free Wealth. He's a rich dad advisor with Robert Kiyosaki and just one of the foremost experts in the world on tax, on wealth creation. And why I've got him on the show today is because Tom has gone through, we just created the government has now created this $2.2 trillion with a T, $Trillion Dollar Bailout Program. And Tom is one of the people on planet Earth, a very few limited amount of people on planet Earth, that has actually read through the whole stimulus package and can help you understand what's going on inside your business with it. Tom, is that accurate? Like you went through, how long is this crazy thing?
It's 880 pages. I've been through it a couple of times, and every time I read it, I get something different. Went through the original bill that the Senate proposed last week. So I've been through multiple iterations of the bill. And by the way, more likely 4 trillion than 2.2, just to give you some perspective.
That is ridiculous. And I guess what I really want to do today, Tom, is I've got people who are on from all over that are watching this, that are business owners, that are franchisees, that are non-franchises, that are, people that are unemployed, people that are trying to figure out what does this policy really mean? And, there's one thing for like the average person to try and interpret it, but you from a standpoint of being a CPA and being able to unpack like how this will actually unfold for people in their pocketbook would be really helpful. And I just want to say this as you guys are watching this, please do me a favor. This is super, super important and urgent that you share this because unlike your CPA, Tom has gone through this material. So do me a favor, share this, tag a business owner in it, make sure that they know what's going on, share it with your staff, share this video, and make sure it gets to as many people as possible. Because if you don't understand what this bill really is going to do for you, you're just going to be guessing, and Tom's going to help us not guess. Is that right, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, just to share, if you want more information and more from us, we're at wealthability.com, and we'll talk to anybody, and we're fully staffed and ready to serve however we can.
Tom, you're a freaking rock star, dude. So wealthability.com is how you get a hold of Tom Wheelright. But Tom, do me a favor and just kind of unpack this thing for us. What is this?
So,
what is this thing?
Okay. So let's start with the big winners. Okay.
Yeah, the big winners. I like
it. Besides Boeing, which gets up to $17 billion to bail it out from the MAX problem.
Ooh, man.
The airlines get a lot of money. The other big winners, frankly, are the unemployed and the franchises.
Unemployed and franchises. Okay, got it.
And unemployed and franchises. Okay. Don't believe what you read in the papers that the real estate people are huge winners. They are not. They were huge winners in 2017. So
yeah, okay, all right.
The huge winners today are not real estate developers, despite what you've heard in the New York Times. Those are not the big winners, okay? That provision they're talking about is a non-issue for most real estate developers, okay? So understand, big winners. First of all, if you're unemployed, really you are a big winner because not only do you get your unemployment, and by the way, even if you're self-employed, you get unemployment.
Wow. Okay. So wait, say that again because that's a huge thing. So people
even
who are
if you're an independent contractor, if your business, if you like have no work, right? I mean, for example, salons. Let's be honest. We're all cutting our own hair right now, right?
Yeah, we're trying to make it work.
Figuring out how to cut hair, right? And we're cutting, I'm cutting my wife's hair, and for me it's easy because I'll just shave it or something, no big deal. But salons, I mean, I'm not going to go to my hair.
Yeah, they got hurt. Yeah, they got hurt the worst.
They're serious here, and I think a lot of them are just flat out of business, depending on where you are.
Yeah, a lot of our salons are closed, but there's two different types of salons, right? There's independent contractors who go to work for themselves, and then there's also salons that have employees. Let's talk about both those for a second.
Right. So both of them qualify. So that's the thing. Independent contractors get unemployment. This is the first time that I remember that independent contractors get unemployment, and the unemployment is your normal unemployment plus $600 a week.
A week. So now
$600 a week plus your normal unemployment. So if your normal unemployment is $800 a month, then your new unemployment is $3,200 a month.
So help me understand this, Tom, because I think this is a big question for a lot of people. It's like unemployment typically is like, it's a percentage of your pay.
And it's a very small percentage of your
Right,
salary.
right. It's not the whole amount, right? It's like you get
Correct.
a piece of it, so it's whatever
Right.
that piece is plus another $600 per
Yeah,
week
there
while you're unemployed.
per week. So there actually are going to be lots of examples of people making more money being unemployed for the next few months than if they had been employed.
Wow.
Okay, so
Wow.
it is actually a big windfall. There was actually some discussion in the Senate about that, but this was something that the Democrats said, we're not going to pass this bill unless you give this extra $600 per week.
Wow.
So that's there. So that's good. On top of that, you're going to get a check if your income single was under 75,000 last year or the year before, and your or as a married couple, it's under 150,000. Plus, you're going to get a check. Okay, that's on top of your unemployment. Okay, and your check is going to be $1,200 for an individual or $2,400 for a couple, plus $500 for each of your dependent children.
Now that's if your income's under $75,000 as stated on your tax returns from 2019?
Correct. From 2019, if you've already filed 2019, from 2018 if you haven't filed 2019 yet.
Okay, got it. So either 2018, 2019, under 75,000 if you haven't filed.
Right, under 75,000 single, under 150,000 married. Actually, under 112,500 if you're head of household. Okay, so you've got you're single with a dependent child.
I'm sorry, I just want to make sure I got that because I want to write these things down. You said under
75, 112,500, 150. Okay, I'll write them right here.
Yeah, let's put them up just so people can kind of get their brain around it.
75. The one thing I did to prepare for this virus was I built a whole new studio next to my house.
I love it, dude. It's so good. I'm so glad. I really appreciate you doing this, man, because I know there's a lot of people confused by what this actually means. And guys, if you're on this right now, if you have friends who are independent contractors, my assumption, Tom, is that means people who do like Uber drivers or delivery drivers that are operating their own business independently. That falls in this category. These gig workers. That's been a question.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
For sure, it would fall. So I mean, I know they've been hammered. Okay, now.
Yeah, totally.
Now, hopefully, they've gone from Uber to Instacart.
Yeah.
Though I understand Instacart's going. It says they're going on strike next week. So hopefully you've got your stuff.
We'll see how that lasts.
We'll see. We'll see. Trump may impose on that. Okay, so here we go. Single, head of household, joint. Those are the limits. If you're above that, then it starts phasing out. Okay. Oh, and then wait a minute. Let's not forget this. $500 per child.
Yeah, and how old is the child? Somebody asked that. They said
dependent. So a regular dependent. So they were on your tax return, as I understand it. Now I'm still reading the bill over and over again. So
let's give this disclaimer, Tom. Like I know you've been through it and you reviewed it, but don't like share this video with your CPA and say, but Tom said like you still need to review it with a CPA.
Exactly. Is that right? No question. What we're finding actually, we have a network of CPA firms, and what we're finding as a group is that where the doctors and the nurses are on the front line of the healthcare crisis, we're on it's the CPAs that are on the front line of the financial crisis.
Totally.
And so please call your CPA, call your tax preparer. Hopefully your tax preparer is now you've got a CPA now, because CPAs are going to be much more able to deal with this than a tax preparer. Okay, this is one place where you're going to want the CPA.
Yeah, we're not calling H&R Block here to do this. Is like
please don't be asking H&R Block to fill out your loan application for the paycheck forgiveness loan, right? So by the way, okay, so I said big winners, unemployed, plus anybody that made is basically middle income. Okay. Now here's another big winner. So the other big incentive here are these what we call payroll forgiveness loans.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because these are a lot of small businesses here with these, right?
Okay, so here's what's interesting. The rule is you have to be less than 500 employees, right?
Okay, which is a lot of businesses, less than 500.
In order to get this. Yep. Okay, however, if you're a franchise, or if you're in the food service,
like a McDonald's, a Chick-fil-A, or something like that.
So any like McDonald's, et cetera, but franchises and Anybody that's not a franchise, but they're in the food service industry, like casinos, so
Yeah, they
casinos
have
have
food,
locations,
restaurants.
right? Okay. Then it's under 500 employees per location. So
Per
that means,
location.
yeah, just let's be clear here.
Wow.
This applies to McDonald's franchises all over the country.
Because every location has less than 500 employees.
Because every location is under 500 employees.
Wow.
And so right now, just let's be clear, there's $349 billion set aside for these loans.
Wow.
And the loans, just so you know the amount, the loans are 2.5 times average monthly payroll.
So 2.5 months average monthly payroll from
that's
that business.
The amount of the loan that you can get under this program.
Wow.
And that will, by the way, it's a loan now. It's going to be forgiven when you prove that you actually used it for payroll.
Okay. So hold on. I just want to make sure we're unpacking each piece of this. So they need to, just to understand some steps, they need to apply for it as a loan, but with this new bill, as it's being passed, then it's for sure it can be forgiven, or just once they prove that they've got that. Is that my understanding?
You do actually have to certify that this has been used for payroll or utilities or your rent. Okay, there's a few things that it qualifies for, but the reality is it's 2.5 times, but it's 4 months worth of expenses. So everybody who gets the loan is going to get forgiven.
Wow.
Okay, let's just be real. You want to unpack it. Let's be clear. It's called a SBA 7A loan.
Okay, write this down, guys. Somebody put it in the chat. SBA 7A loan.
Okay, and it's not an express loan.
Okay, what does that mean?
Okay, so there's an SBA express loan that's also a 7A loan, but this is not the express loan. This is called a paycheck. I think it's called a paycheck forgiveness loan, something like that.
Okay, got it.
Anyway, so here's the thing. Just understand. Right now, McDonald's corporate headquarters is applying for loans for every one of their franchisees under this $349 billion.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
If you don't get on the stick on Monday with your banker, you're not going to get this loan.
Yeah, so you need to call your bank, or you need to go to the SBA, or who do you call?
Bank, credit union, the SBA. Now, they're going to say, we're not ready yet, because they're waiting for regulations, they're waiting for rules, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah. However, a good bank is, now some banks don't even know what this is. I guarantee you. Bank of America, so somebody calls Bank of America and Bank of America says, what are you talking about? Yeah. On the other hand, Wells Fargo has been promoting these, okay? And your local credit union may be the right place to go, frankly.
Wow, okay.
Because somebody if you know your banker, or if you have a smaller bank and they're ones that are really, willing to serve the public, there's a lot of banks that won't touch these. My banker said, there's no way we're going to touch these loans. It's too difficult. Now, I don't know that that's true, but it's going to take some time.
Yeah, they're going to have to get some information, but important to go in and apply right now.
The banking community right now is saying that we're not going to see these loans before the end of May. Realistically, you're not going to see money before the end of May.
Okay, so important thing to know. So there's a lot of businesses that may have some cash,
they need it right
now. Capital reserve. They're
okay.
Like, I need it right now. So what do they do?
Right. Well, here's what they do. There is, this is different than this. Okay.
And by the way, if you guys have questions, pop in your questions in the chat. I can see them coming in, and I'll do my best to get them to Tom. We got Tom for about 20, 30 more minutes. I'll ask him every possible thing I can that you guys are asking with me live.
There's a $10,000 grant that you can apply for, and that should take 3 days.
Oh,
okay.
That's good. Helpful.
So again, you're going to go to your bank, credit union, et cetera, but that $10,000 is it's not really going to take 3 days, but it's supposed to be really, really quick, and it's $10,000. So if you're a very small business and you go, look, $10,000 would keep me going long enough that I can apply for this other loan. Okay, you ought to talk to your CPA, talk to somebody, your banker, talk to them about these possibilities.
Okay, so and what is this grant? How does that get applied for? Through a bank? Through the website? Through what? Do you know? Or it's still unknown? We
don't know. We think through the bank, but I think the financial institutions are really going to be at the forefront of all this.
Yeah, totally.
And so I would, this is why you want to have a relationship. We always talk about, I'm watching you there, Jason, with your Rich Dad shirt on.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, that's how Tom and I know each other. Through Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and we've been
right. And what's Robert always talking about? He says business is a team sport.
Yeah, totally.
And so this is why you have a banker on your team.
Yeah, not just like going into the branch.
Because if you didn't, let me tell you something. If you didn't have a banker before now, you may not be able to get this loan.
Yeah, because you can't get a hold of them.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah, no, well said.
I mean, Wells Fargo maybe, right? Because they're big enough to handle this kind of stuff, and they're been really aggressive on it. But that's probably where I go, frankly. I mean, I'm not promoting Wells Fargo. I'm just saying that
there's no bonus link here or anything, guys.
Yeah, there's nothing here. Okay, so that's another possibility.
Okay.
There are actually several other provisions that are beneficial to small businesses. For example, if you don't get the loan, you can defer your payroll taxes for the rest of the year.
So you don't if you don't get a loan, you can defer at least your payroll taxes. Yeah.
If you don't get the loan, that's the paycheck forgiveness loan. Okay. Now I told you that we're gonna flip the chart here. I told you that the express loans. So there's an SBA express loan.
Mm-hmm. And Tom, did you have a name for that $10,000 grant? Was there a name for it? I can't remember if you said that. I'm sorry.
I'm sure there is. I don't know what it is.
Just again, ask your banker on that one.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay, man. I mean, look,
I'm just trying to stay up on this.
You're dumping tons more than I know, so thank you.
I'm getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning every morning to read this stuff.
Tom, thank you.
So SBA Express loan, it used to be $350,000 was your max, okay, but now it's up to $1 million. Now this one is not forgiven. However, that's not a bad thing, and let me tell you why.
Yeah.
Because it's not forgiven. Okay, because it's not forgiven, you can still take advantage of these other benefits like the paycheck, the payroll tax deferral. Okay, so imagine, I mean, you're paying payroll taxes roughly 8% on your paycheck on your payroll, and that 8% that you're paying as an employer, you don't have to pay any of it for the rest of the year, and then you don't have to pay until 50% is due the end of 2021 and 50% is due the end of 2022.
Oh, so basically it's pushing it forward. So it's pushing it forward 1 and then 2 years.
Right. So you get this SBA Express loan plus, payroll tax deferral. Right. Or $5,000 credit. This is payroll tax credit per employee. Okay.
Yep.
So that's how I'm reading it. Now, understand, please.
Check and get your.
Please sit down with your CPA and talk to them about this and say, look, I presume you read this thing. You should say that. I presume you've
read this. And they're like, well, maybe. I think a lot of CPAs, they're getting together and talking about it and trying to, mastermind it together, right?
That's what we're doing. I mean, we have a network of 35 CPA firms around the country, and we're definitely masterminding this. We're getting together. We're talking about this. We're sharing resources with each other. So certainly, if your CPA is a member of the Wealthability Network, then you're going to get all sorts of information in the next couple of days. But again, your CPA should be your front line here. So these are really the big pieces. Of this package is, if you go back, so basically you've got, that's not it. That's not it, though. You know what that is.
Yeah, right. If you guys don't know, employee, self-employed, business.
If you don't know the cash flow cutter, you need to be here right now. And the people who are here and here are doing really well. The people doing here and here are struggling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll do another video on that with Tom, guys. I'll share it in the comments.
We'll do that.
It's a really good video.
Okay. So first of all, we've got this basically check going out.
Okay.
Plus you've got the unemployment, right? On top of that, you've got the $349 billion of the if you're a franchise, you should be doing this. I mean, absolutely. If you have a franchise, you should be doing this. I don't think there's any question. Franchises should be doing this. Or if you're if you have like big food service, I mean, these are the people who are really going to, I think, benefit the most under this one.
Yeah.
Okay, the 7A loan. Just remember, it's not. I mean, think about this. If your monthly payroll is $100,000, then this is $250,000 grant.
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
it's going to be forgiven. So it's some money.
So I got a couple questions coming in that I know people want to know this answer to. So somebody asked, Becky said, is the express loan the same as the disaster relief loan? Is that the same thing or is that different? Okay, good.
Oh,
so that's not the same thing. Okay, the easy one. Somebody else asked, so I have a lot of salon owners, because that's the space I hang out in all the time. Salon owners want to know, there's a lot of salon owners have had to lay off their staff up to 2 weeks ago. So a lot of salon owners have their staff on unemployment now. Should they be taking them off unemployment to take advantage of this loan, or leave them on unemployment, or is it case by case depending on your cash situation? Like, what would you advise on that?
That is a question really to be asking your CPA, frankly.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how do they ask? What do they need to ask? You know what I mean?
Here's what I'm saying. Okay. If you think that you need the staff because you think you're going to open up in 2 months, do this. Okay. Yeah. But if you think this thing might go beyond 2 or 3 months, don't leave people on staff. Okay. Because now payroll, by the way, 2.5 times payroll includes their healthcare costs. Awesome. Okay. So if you want to cover their healthcare, which by the way, they don't, unemployment, you don't get healthcare.
Okay, so that's an important detail. So if you're on unemployment, no healthcare, on payroll, healthcare may still apply.
Right. I'll give you an example. So my son's a bartender.
Okay.
So he's been furloughed, but it's paid furlough. Now, of course, bartenders get a very small amount of pay, and then the rest is tips. But he stayed there instead of unemployment because he says, I get my health insurance. And that health insurance right now is probably more, is so important. So that would be a reason to keep them on the payroll, is so that they get health insurance. Okay, and that's a big one. Now, but here's so let's just talk for a minute, and I presume we're wrapping up soon.
Yeah.
But
you tell me how much time you got, Tom, and we'll keep asking. But you tell me when you got to go, buddy.
Because I've got another event in like 30 minutes.
Okay.
So I'm like on the phone from 7 in the morning until 5 at night. It's every day right now.
I appreciate you being here,
which is great. I love doing this. What you have to consider is cash flow.
Yeah.
All right. How are you going to stay open? It's like when back when we used to fly on airplanes in the olden days, right? And they'd give us this safety warning, this safety thing that nobody paid attention to up front. But what they actually were saying was, look, if there's oxygen, the oxygen mask comes down, put it on your face first.
Yeah.
And then put it on your child's face or your grandmother's face or whatever. The same thing applies here, okay? You take care of yourself, your family, and your business first. And then you can help your employees.
Yeah.
But the biggest mistake people made in 2008 and 2009 was we saw business after business hang on to their employees for too long, thinking it was going to come back really quick. Okay?
Fair
This
point.
is a mistake. Please don't do that. What we're seeing this time around is most of my clients who have been affected by this, and this includes, by the way, dentists, they're shut down.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, dentists, salons, all those guys.
Plastic surgeons, they're shut down, right? I mean, there's all sorts of people that are shut down that you think, why would they be shut down? Well, because because we don't have enough masks for for our dentists. I mean, this is okay. So that's a political commentary.
So I want to make sure this, like, if I really only get one more question in, Tom, before we go out, I think that the thing that I really want to know is people are asking, like, again, should they be on unemployment? Should they be on staff? You've said this idea that if they're, so I want to make sure I got this, is that the idea is if you think you're coming back in the next couple of months, your salon's going to be reopened, your dental practice is going to be reopened, and you want to retain your staff, use the grant. If not, if you're concerned that you may not have as much business in the future as you did, get your staff to go on unemployment. Because the question is like, can you get the grant even if they're on unemployment, or how does that that's the
No,
question.
no.
That's
If you reduce your staff, you don't get the grant.
Got
Okay, they go hand in hand, right? You have to use the money for payroll, so you can't, I mean, you can't put them on unemployment. So this is, there are a lot of provisions in here to prevent double dipping.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so you're not double dipping. You're not double dipping. You don't get a credit and get forgiveness. By the way, the forgiveness, here's a big deal. So the $250,000, say, for the $100,000 payroll that you're going to get forgiven, not taxable.
Wow.
When it's forgiven. So that's $250,000 real money. So here's the thing. Yes, if you think, look, this is a really temporary setback for me because people will eventually return to a new normal, even if the virus goes for a year, there's going to be some new normal and my business is going to see an uptick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to figure out how to get my business back, even if the virus continues till April of next year.
Yeah.
Right. In that case, then absolutely. Okay. You want to get some money to get you through.
Yeah.
Okay. I actually think the biggest opportunity here is the SBA Express loan.
Yeah.
It's $1 million.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not just used for payroll. You can use it to keep your doors open. Now, you have to pay the whole thing back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's real cash. Okay? So if you really are saying, well, look, I'm going to be fine in 6 months. I'm going to be fine in 9 months. But I need some money to just keep going, and to retool. Right, because a lot of businesses are retooling. By the way, this is the new normal. We will never go back to the way we did business before. Right. Life will never be the same. I know this because my parents lived through the Depression, and life was never the same for them.
Right, never again.
Okay,
right.
after the Depression. Okay, you don't forget these things, and remember, all our Gen Zers lived through 2008, and now they're living again through 2020. So that generation, I'll tell you what, that generation is probably the most affected generation in history because they've gone through two of them in their young lifetime. Yeah. Anyway, so to wrap this up, by the way, lots of great tax provisions in here. We haven't even gotten to those. But really take care, the most important thing is take care of your finances, okay? I'll tell you, for example, if you're a client of mine personally, and I only have 30 clients, okay, so you can't become a client of mine, okay, so I'm not making this offer. I'm just saying that I'm doing what a lot of people are doing. I'm saying, look, to my clients, I told them last week, I said, if you need help with your SBA loan, I'm not going to charge you for that. And CPAs are there to help. And my wife is a CPA. She said every time she calls clients, she goes, don't worry about this call. Don't worry about getting help with this. I'm not going to charge you for this. So your CPAs are really, I think that's the one thing I've seen is the CPA community is absolutely stepping up on this. Awesome. By the way, it was the AICPA, along with the Franchise Association, who got that franchise piece passed. Dude, okay, so they were working together on that. And so the franchise, I'll tell you what, franchise did good. If you're a franchise, if you have a franchise, this is a big opportunity for you.
That's awesome.
But really think about how can I retool my business? How can I make money? What can I do differently? Now's the time to actually develop a plan of action, what we call a strategy, right? Now's the time. You've got a time to think about it. If you're a dentist, if you're a salon operator, how am I going to change my business? And so now's the time to really be looking at your business advisor, your CPA, whoever that is, and sit down with them and say, okay, what do I do differently here? I've been talking to clients all week. That's half my time. It's been talking to clients about how do they retool? How do they plan for the future? How do they deal with this? And so do that, okay? Don't worry about, there are some things you want to spend money on because they make money. Right. Don't stop doing those things.
Yeah, invest in things that create a return on investment and get rid of the things that cost you money right now. Super, super important, right? Tom, yep. I know you got to run, brother. And dude, I know there's 1,000 questions that didn't get answered in here because people have Absolutely. 1 million of them. We'll have to talk about maybe doing something else again. I'm so grateful for the time that you shared with us today. You guys do me a favor, hit the share button, hit the like button. Go read Tom's book called Tax-Free Wealth. There's some really important stuff in there. And Tom, as you have more information, as you create content, please let me know so we can share it, and I'll filter you all these questions so more people can have access to these
absolutely. Again, wealthability.com. You know, we do free consultations, so however we can help. The book, by the way, if you can't get it from Amazon,
it might not be shipping right now.
Be able to.
Totally.
It's on Audible. It's on iBooks.
Yes.
So you can, you know, it's on Kindle, so you can get it other ways. But it really is. I mean, right now, your biggest issue, you know, people started by hoarding toilet paper. Now they're hoarding cash.
That's right.
Right. So the fastest way to put money in your pocket is to reduce your taxes, and taxes have been deferred till July, and again, 2020 taxes have been deferred until October. But what you want to do now is make your plans, work with your tax strategist, so that come October you don't have a big tax bill.
Yeah.
Because that otherwise you're going to have all these loans and you're going to have all these payments, and that's going to put you under not the crisis.
Yeah.
So, you know, be smart, be cool.
Totally.
Yeah.
And then we'll have to get Kiyosaki on to start talking about where that money needs to go instead of just hanging out in your bank account. So, Tom, thank you so much for spending so much time with us. I'm super grateful. We'll be back in touch. You guys do me a favor, like, share, get more people to watch this video because it's required and it's important right now. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you so much, Tom. You're amazing.
Thank you.
All right, man.